I've done a lot of mergers and acquisitions work over my time. I've done fundraising. So I have a lot of those different components to my skill sets that I can help companies sort of navigate a whole lot of different things.
It's interesting. Do you this next decade coming up, the 2020s, do you see it as sort of Wild West for mergers and acquisitions?
You know what? It's been, I mean, it has been for a few years. I mean, the SPAC world is just insanity. I equate the SPAC world to, I'm old enough that I equate it back to reverse mergers in the late 90s, which was a really big thing where you had all these companies that would they would form a public company that was doing pretty much nothing, and then reverse merge another company into it to avoid the S1 and avoid all the requirements. So SPAC is somewhat similar, but a little
Right.
different. It's like these giant blank checks. I think we're looking at new blank, these blank check companies that put a bunch of money into areas where there's no actual business, and you're going to see those need to spend that money. They have timelines on when they need to put that money into a real business, or they have to give it back to the investors. So you're going to see in the next 18 months a whole bunch of those companies finding real companies to put money into. And you're going to see there'll be a lot more M&A activity. I mean, it's interesting though, because Biden's recent executive order that was just about 2 or 3 weeks ago
Mm-hmm.
is very much a antitrust, you know, push, right?
Right.
So he's gonna fight a lot of these consolidations that have been allowed to go through, in past years. I don't know how much he can push that through the Department of Justice yet, but it's going to be interesting.
It'll be very interesting, and I think it seems to me that Americans are very much sort of conflicted on this, because I do think Americans see sort of the danger, if you will, of some of like the super large tech companies. But at the same time, and to the point you made earlier, disruption happens for a reason, because there's an antiquated system. And that really that's the heart of capitalism, is something coming in that's better, that makes sense for the consumer. So it's a really fascinating, and I get what Biden is trying to do, but I think there are a lot of people who support it, but I think there are a lot of people who are, proceed with caution about it as well, because you don't want
to see how it's a slippery slope argument, right? It's
a
fine line of, yes, that should be, you can't allow that to go through, but if you cross over too far and you stop a lot of this M&A work, the whole purpose for the venture capital industry, right? Venture capital, it's as anti-venture capital as it gets, right? All these small, like, new tech businesses that come out, that really, the only real intent a lot of them have, and you talk to a lot of these founders, I talk to them all the time, right? A lot of these founders, their only purpose is to sell the company.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to build a 20-year, 30-year company, which, we all, like, most of us go into business because we want to build something, right? And you want it to last, and you have this long-lasting vision. A lot of these tech companies have a 5-year vision, right? Where I want to build this and I want to get out of it. And where are you going to sell it to? They get sold to the big companies. That's who buys them.
Mm-hmm.
But if your antitrust is going to say you can't do that, what are you going to do to the venture capital market? Where are they going to put their money?